The Gulf is on edge again as missiles and drones light up the skies over Kuwait and air raid sirens scream across Bahrain. Just hours after U.S. forces launched fresh strikes on Iranian military targets, fears of a wider regional war are rapidly escalating. With key American allies now under attack and the Strait of Hormuz once again at the center of the crisis, the Middle East may be entering a dangerous new phase. The Middle East is witnessing another dramatic escalation as Kuwait says it has come under attack from hostile missiles and drones, raising fresh fears that the conflict between Washington and Tehran could spill across the wider Gulf region. In a statement posted on social media, Kuwait's General Staff of the Army announced that its air defense systems were actively confronting incoming hostile missiles and drones, while urging citizens and residents to remain calm and strictly follow all security and safety instructions issued by authorities. Kuwaiti military officials said that any explosion sounds heard across the country were likely the result of successful interceptions carried out by air defense units attempting to neutralize the incoming threats before they could strike their targets. Meanwhile, neighboring Bahrain, home to a major United States naval base and a critical American military hub in the Gulf, also activated air raid sirens, prompting authorities to urge residents to immediately move to the nearest safe locations. Bahrain's Interior Ministry confirmed that warning sirens had been sounded across the kingdom, calling on both citizens and expatriates to remain calm, even as tensions across the region reached alarming new levels. The latest security alerts came only hours after U.S. Central Command announced that American Navy and Air Force fighter jets had carried out coordinated strikes on 10 Iranian military targets in and around the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. According to CENTCOM, the operation targeted Iranian military infrastructure in response to what Washington described as an Iranian drone attack on the Panama-flagged oil tanker MT Kiku, which was transiting near the strait, carrying millions of barrels of crude oil. U.S. officials said the strikes were ordered directly by President Donald Trump after Iranian forces allegedly launched a one-way attack drone against the tanker, an incident Washington says violated the fragile ceasefire arrangement reached earlier this month. The Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes every day, has once again become the focal point of an increasingly volatile confrontation that threatens global energy markets and regional stability. As missiles, drones, and fighter jets dominate the skies over the Gulf, international observers are now closely watching whether the latest escalation remains contained or spirals into a broader regional conflict involving multiple countries. With American military assets on high alert, Gulf states activating emergency measures, and tensions between the United States and Iran intensifying by the hour, the risk of a wider Middle East confrontation has rarely appeared more immediate. The Gulf is once again on the brink. Just days after hopes of peace began to emerge, a dangerous new crisis has erupted. Bahrain has accused Iran of launching drone strikes against its territory, triggering one of the most serious escalations in the region in recent times. With tensions soaring and fears of a wider conflict growing by the hour, Bahrain has issued a chilling warning. It reserves the full right to defend itself, raising the specter of yet another devastating chapter in the Middle East. In a stunning accusation, Bahrain says multiple Iranian drones targeted the kingdom at dawn, calling the strikes a blatant violation of its sovereignty. The allegations come only days after Washington and Tehran signed an agreement that had fueled hopes of easing regional tensions. But those hopes now appear to be hanging by a thread, as diplomatic gains risk being overshadowed by fresh hostilities. The Gulf stands at a critical crossroads, with the possibility of a broader regional confrontation looming larger than ever. The ministry further accused Tehran of deliberately sabotaging ongoing peace efforts, warning that the latest escalation threatens to derail fragile diplomatic progress after the United States and Iran exchanged direct strikes for the first time since the agreement was reached. In a strongly worded statement, Bahrain's foreign ministry condemned what it described as an attack involving a number of Iranian drones, declaring that the kingdom reserves the full right to defend its sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. While Bahraini authorities did not reveal the exact target of the alleged drone attack, the accusation carries enormous significance as Bahrain hosts the United States Navy's Fifth Fleet, a critical hub for American military operations in the region. The latest allegations come just hours after Iran announced that it had launched strikes against targets linked to U.S. forces in the region, although Tehran stopped short of identifying the locations or disclosing further operational details. The rapidly deteriorating situation followed overnight U.S. military strikes on Iran, reportedly conducted in response to an attack on a vessel transiting the strategically crucial Strait of Hormuz. The exchange marks the most serious challenge yet to a fragile interim understanding reached only days ago between Washington and Tehran, which had aimed to reduce hostilities, reopen diplomatic channels, and restore stability to one of the world's most important maritime corridors. Regional observers warned that any direct confrontation involving Bahrain could significantly widen the conflict, drawing additional Gulf states and international actors into an already volatile security landscape. So far, Washington has not officially responded to Iran's claims of targeting American-linked assets, as uncertainty continues to surround the full scale and impact of the reported attacks.